Okay, so Olivia Ross from
Mhm.
ATSU Central Coast, thank you so much for meeting
Yeah.
with me and some Gaucho, either current
Mhm.
applicants or prospective applicants, and
Mhm.
take it away.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for having me, everyone. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Get this all going. Can we see the
Yep,
screen?
looks good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, again, my name is Olivia Ross. I'm the admissions counselor here for the CCPA program. I'm from the Central Coast. Grew up in Grover Beach, California, so not too far. I love being a part of this community and helping this community grow and having more physicians, all that good stuff. I've been with the program now for about 2 years. Was in admissions for another couple years before that at another university. So it's been a lot of fun of helping students, find the next step right into healthcare, their next step. So we'll go over this little presentation. We'll do a little Q&A afterward. But yeah, this is a little agenda, program or location, mission, what's a PA, CCPA program overview, how to prepare to apply, services we offer, and then yeah, questions. So yeah, ATC University is made up of a huge umbrella of different colleges and universities. So ATC University started in 1892 in Kirksville, Missouri, and we are the founding school of osteopathic medicine. As you can see here, we do have multiple osteo programs, dental programs, health sciences, and of course the College for Healthy Communities, which is our program. Our mission statement, ATSU University of Health Sciences, serves as a learning-centered university dedicated to preparing highly competent professionals through innovative academic programs. The university is committed to continuing its osteopathic heritage and focus on whole person healthcare, scholarship community, health, interprofessional education, diversity, and underserved populations. And so, what is a physician assistant? I'm sure a good amount of you know, but just a little bit of an overview. PAs are health professionals licensed to practice medicine with physician supervision. And as you can see, all the duties, basically a lot of what a physician would be doing, right? It, but you're just like in the PA role. Uh, this kind of shows the growth of PAs. Is definitely a very popular route, and it's only growing, and there's only more opportunity out there as the years go on. What is it like being a PA student? So it's 2 years of very difficult, intense, rigorous academic training. So just like I said, PAs have a lot of the same responsibilities as a physician would have, right? But you're condensing it all in 2 years. So you have to keep in mind of how rigorous it can be and how much time consuming it is. So yeah, year one is intense classroom learning. Full days, Monday through Friday, usually 8 to 5 for students. And you're also expected to be studying after class, depending on what your capabilities are, but usually here around 3 to 4 hours, as well as on the weekends, of course. The second year is clinical practice, using what you've learned during your didactic year, putting all that in practice. So that's kind of like what that is made up of. So, the Central Coast PA program, I do have some exciting news if you haven't heard. We are actually moving from San Maria to San Luis Obispo. Uh, we have acquired a new building. We haven't moved in yet. We're still going to be here in San Maria for the next year. But we did acquire this building. It's the Old Mine Body building in San Luis Obispo on Tank Farm Road.
I did not
Yeah.
know that. This is breaking news to me anyway, Olivia.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
congratulations, and that's great.
Yeah.
Great news.
Yeah, we're all very excited about it. The program for last year has been trying really hard to find a place to expand in San Maria, but there's just wasn't the space. There was nowhere for us to grow because we want to bring more than just the PA program, right? We want to maybe bring nursing, a doctor of physical therapy, maybe a dental program, right? And with the current space that we're at, it's just not possible. And it's funny, they did find some buildings in San Maria that could work, but there's only be like a dozen parking spaces, right?
I hope y'all keep dreaming big because the idea of a dental program, of a
Hmm.
nursing program in particular, we've got a burgeoning nursing club here.
Hmm.
And so these are all, yeah, I'm learning. One of the things I
Yeah.
love about these kinds of meetings that I do with y'all is that I learn something, and every single one of them.
Yeah.
And this is really, really great news. So
Yeah.
keep the
Yeah.
mojo going up there.
Yeah, there's over here the side there's a 400 car parking garage that's attached to the building. And yeah, no, that I did hear rumor about possibly 2028 starting a nursing program. Of course, all those can change. It may not happen. We still got accreditation to go through. But again, very exciting. We're going to be remodeling this building over the next year because obviously we need to gut some things out and build some new walls to make it ready for being a classroom. But we're all very, very excited about it in San Luis Obispo. But we still, of course, are keeping strong ties to Santa Barbara County. We have a lot of relationships in the community, like with clinical, Lompoc Valley Medical Center, the Santa Barbara Health Department, and stuff we have clinical sites with. So I know our program is working really closely to keep those connections going so students can still do their clinical work in Santa Barbara. And we also are working with the Santa Barbara neighborhood clinics as well, I think. So we're working on that. But yeah, very exciting stuff. Hopefully this next summer, 2026, we'll be over there. A little bit of an overview of our program. Currently, the only program is Sam Ramp, but moving to slow, right? Uh, there's a huge focus on primary care with underserved and disadvantaged communities. So if you're looking to really specialize in something like, I don't know, sports medicine or maybe dermatology or something, this may not necessarily be the right fit for you. Uh, a lot of our curriculum is around primary care, especially with underserved and disadvantaged communities. Um, we do have an active partnership with the CHC, so the community health centers, with a great hometown scholar program. And basically, all of our clinical sites are with community health centers or FQHCs, which do serve a lot of disadvantaged, uninsured patients. The hometown scholar program with them is if you work for a community health center or maybe volunteer for one, they could endorse your application to make your application that much stronger. The CCPA program application, all prerequisite courses must be completed by the application due date. So making sure you have the stats courses done, make sure you have all those anatomy, physiology, all that completed with your application by the time you're turning it in. uh, 3 letters of recommendation, at least a 3.0 GPA, commitment to serving the underserved, as well as a strong focus on a mission match. So these are all things that when we're reviewing application, we're looking for. Do you meet those minimum requirements? Can we see that you are wanting to help the underserved, not just talking the talk, right? And that strong mission match is things the program is really, really looking for. These are just some general application tips. As someone, I am an admissions counselor, so things that I see that help be more competitive in just your PA journey, right? Research schools before applying, making sure, right fit to you. Are you in those like academic averages, right? Are they similar to you? Building a competitive application, being well-rounded, all that good stuff. Have extensive service to the underserved and disadvantaged. Like I said, like we're looking to see, do you have that experience? Do you want to help the underserved? I usually tell applicants for us 200 plus hours to be competitive, such as like homeless shelters, food banks, boys and girls clubs, maybe like adopt a grandparent, all those good things. Addressing red flags
So can I
all
can
day.
I just go back a
Yeah.
moment? You said because students, you might imagine, are always asking me to
Hmm.
quantify certain things. So I appreciate you being explicit about that,
Hmm.
Olivia. But those 200
Hmm.
hours, that's not, we're not talking PCE there. That is 200 hours ish. And I know it's not a hard bright
Hmm.
line for you necessarily,
Yeah.
but that is like kind of the do good stuff. It's not the clinical patient care experience stuff that's
Yeah.
separate from what you're talking about.
Yeah. And not even just like good quality volunteer work,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
If you're volunteering, a hospital volunteer work is quality, but it's not necessarily what we're looking for.
Right.
Or
Yep.
if you're volunteering at a walkathon, that's not necessarily what
Right.
we're looking
Exactly.
for.
Yeah. The beach cleanup, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they want to see that hands-on, like with the underserved,
Yep.
um, or again, or disadvantaged, like if it's a Special Olympics, right?
Hmm.
All that is great stuff. And so even making sure on the CASPA, the application, that you're giving those examples and you're telling us what it is. You'd be surprised how often I've seen it where an applicant isn't descriptive enough on the application and then not given credit, right? They just say they, volunteered teaching dance. They don't get the points. And later on, when we're having a discussion of how to be a more competitive applicant, they'll tell me, like, oh, I was teaching dance to those who can't afford it at my local center that's like a Boys and Girls Club, but maybe they live in a rural area that doesn't have one. And that's a true thing that happened once to an applicant.
Yeah,
That's
that's a, that's
something.
a great that's a great point because a lot of times you're absolutely right. Applicants connect all these dots in their head, and then not necessarily maliciously, but they oftentimes unwittingly don't realize that those dots are not connected in the head of the reader, and it can have in instances
Mhm.
really deleterious effects on an application.
Yeah, because it's for me, like when I'm reviewing an application, I'm not going to go and call all your references
Right.
that
Yep.
are you're listing,
Yep.
right? I'm generally going to go off of what you write in there. I'm only going to call if it's something that seems fishy, to be honest. You know?
Got it. Yep.
So,
Hmm.
um, so yeah, being descriptive in what you did while you're in what kind of populations it's with is very important for your application. It's better to tell me too much than not enough, I would say. Um, oh, addressing red flags. Uh, it's so important if you have any kind of red flag in your application. We would rather hear it from you rather than we make up the story for you, right?
Can you be a little more specific with respect to what you're meaning by red flags?
Yeah, it could be all sorts of things. It could be maybe if you have been arrested before, right? It could be you have lower grades. Like maybe your freshman year, you weren't prepared, right? And you didn't do well in classes, or it could even been maybe it was a certain year, your junior year, something happened, right? Maybe you're dealing with some family stuff, uh, or something. Would much rather hear from you what happened than make up that story and why that won't happen again, right? Like I've heard from applicants before saying, I was 18 and stupid and wasn't taking school seriously, but that won't happen again because I know what I want. I've gone back and done the work. Kind of being your own lawyer is how I describe it, right? You have to make the argument for yourself.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're bringing this up because this time of year, you might
Mhm.
imagine as interview invites start to trickle in, students are like, "Hey Dave, when I was 18, I got cited with minor in possession in Isla Vista. What are the rules on that?" And invariably my response is disclose, right? It's very rare that an
Mhm.
18-year-old minor in possession citation is going to be the end of the line. It could be the end of the line if you try to mask it and it comes up
Mhm.
in a search because those things like certify and other kinds of background
Mhm.
checks, they're pretty exhaustive and you don't want to be have an offer rescinded late in the cycle because you were not forthcoming, right?
And I have seen that happen before. I know of one situation we've had over the years where we did have to rescind an offer because they didn't disclose something that had happened also very recently, right? It's one thing if it happened multiple years ago, but it was something that happened very recently that, I wish we would have known more. Because then now this person, they had their hopes up and, could have, things could have gone differently, right? So, uh, yeah, being able to explain that and again, why that would never happen again, would much rather hear that than having to do that, right? Or if you've disclosed it, then there's no problems later on. So, personalized essays, using examples. So, generally speaking, we can tell if it's AI, right? Uh, like that. There, I know there's that one personal statement you have to write, why you want EPA. You'd be surprised how many personal statements I've read where they don't actually answer the question. They'll tell me this whole long story of something that happened that but not then end that by saying why that made you want BPA. right? It's making sure you're fully answering the question and why that matters, right? And then there's
Well, I mean, again, you're bringing up a great point. I mean,
yeah.
and this is applicable both to the prompts in your written materials as
Mhm.
well as, prompts if you get an interview. Again, answer the question. I do mock interviews with kids all the time, and I'm like, did you do you think you answered the prompt when I'm doing the constructive criticism with them? Like, do you think you answered the prompt? They're like, oh, yeah, maybe not. Right. But back to the AI piece. I'm a recovering English professor, so I kind of know what you're talking about, and I really try to make a concerted effort with my students to emphasize, like, man, don't do it. You're going to do yourself more harm than good when adcoms are reading hundreds, if not thousands, of these things. The flaccid AI generated personal statements are just so glaringly obvious. But is there any, do you guys, or are you aware of adcoms that just like randomly sort through some kind of, GPT detect or zero, kind of
We do
thing?
have
You
detectors
do.
and
Yeah.
we have used them.
Yeah.
And I do think using AI as a tool to maybe help you organize your thoughts for a personal statement is completely fine.
Yeah.
It's more of the just complete copy and paste
Right. Yeah.
uh,
Enter
of
prompt
it all.
and pasta, the result. Yeah. That's,
Yeah, yeah,
mhm.
exactly. And this also applies to like we do have a secondary application, which is like short answer form, like 3 to 4 sentences. And I see it tap in there too, like where people like it's like, man, you're not really fully answering the question. Or and to me, sometimes it's like, oh, do you even uh it's kind of a sign for us, like, oh, maybe they not, are not a mission fit because they're trying to avoid the question by talking around it, as such. So, um, yeah, yeah, and even like for as someone who has done the interview process too, it's crazy how many times like it's like, oh, come on, I need you to answer this question, and be straightforward with it, not talk around it. Or you'd be surprised how many people will just give me such a short answer, and it's like I need you to say more, go more in depth into that. Uh, yeah. Or also when it comes to even interviews, another little tidbit outside of this is, you know, being super pan face is really tough. Like, show me you're excited to be there. I understand how uh trust me, I understand interviews are nerve-wracking. I'm nervous giving interview at the time. Like, I want to make sure I don't screw it up for the applicant, make sure I'm saying everything right and being as clear as possible. So I'm always nervous about that. Uh, but if you are coming into the interview and you're not looking excited to be there, or you're just being really flat with your answers, it makes me think like, oh, how would they treat a patient? Or would they come into a patient room acting like that? We want people who are going to be, happy to help their patients. So that's just another sidetrack thing. But the last thing on here is having strong letters of recommendation. I would never recommend to anyone like you shadow a physician once and ask them for a letter of rec. Uh, you'd be surprised how many letters of rec I read. There are only 2 sentences. It is such so, or they're just so lackluster. I would say out of every 100 applications I look through, there's 1 or 2 applications with a letter of rec saying to not accept this person. So making sure you're picking the right people to be your writers, right? It's better to have quality over quantity, right? We require a minimum of 3, but allow a max of 5. If you don't feel you have people who are going to give you the best letters rec possible, maybe stick with that 3, then try and push for that 5. Because I've seen it happen before where people will, their fifth letter of rec is someone who says, do not accept this person. So making sure you're being strategic in that and making sure you have quality, maybe over quantity. Services that we offer here for admissions, uh, and this is also for other programs. Our Arizona PA program is different in curriculum and what they look for in applications. So this is also relevant to them, but we do application advisement. If you reach out to admissions, we will look over your transcripts to give you any tidbits that we can. Interview tips, campus tours. If you want to talk to any of our current students, we do have student ambassadors that we're happy to connect you with. Just ask us. We're happy to do that. ATSU, we do offer workshops and professional development services, as well as we do have info sessions. We have an Eventbrite that's a little QR code, but if you go to Eventbrite, ATSU admissions, it'll take you to that. And again, we do monthly or some programs are weekly info sessions, as well as how to be a competitive applicant, interviewing etiquettes, just like those different types of workshops as well. I don't think we have,
Can I just interject in here,
yeah.
Olivia, in case there are students who have checked out for a minute, they've gotten distracted. Give your attention to this slide and grab a copy of this QR code. Olivia, I've done probably 30 of these AdCom meetings with Med, Dent, PA, et cetera, DO. This is the first one where I've heard, no, the mock interview thing. Who are you making that offer to? Like, who? Tell me about this because this is unprecedented.
Yeah, no, it's not hosted like every year. I know it's just occasionally on our Eventbrite, and it's usually our counselors in Missouri
Okay.
usually host them.
Hmm.
And that's why like if you were to like follow our Eventbrite page, you'll see
Okay.
like occasionally those posted up. I think usually they happen in the spring, I would
Got it.
say.
Okay. Good to
Uh,
know.
that's usually when we do a lot of these types of like workshops. So yeah, and they're usually assigned to different counselors.
Got
Usually
it.
our Missouri counselors do them, but I have done the competitive one before.
Good. Okay. Good to know.
Um, but yeah, yeah, our we I know they're always trying to think of things, and it's all for applicants, so there's doesn't cost anything.
Okay.
It's not like you already have to be accepted or doing something. It's or you don't have to have already applied. It's for anyone who signs up.
Okay.
Because you can register on the Eventbrite links when they
Wow.
make
Cool.
those.
Okay. Great to know.
So, um, but yeah, and I think yeah, contact us. So yeah, we have the general admissions at ATSU email. My email is on there, Olivia Ross at ATSU. You're welcome to reach out anytime. I like to think I'm pretty responsive to my email. But yeah, I guess do we have any questions?
I have even better than a question to start with, and I'm going to put him on the spot. Olivia, while you were talking, I saw Ellery joined the group here. Ellery, I'm going to put you on the spot. I was gushing about you, and Olivia, her face lit up, and you're one of my all-time fave PA gauchos, Ellery, and your journey has been a remarkable one. Thanks for emailing me this morning. I know you made. Are you in Santa Maria now? I know you were on the road today. Are you actually up in Santa Maria?
Yes, I am here in Santa Maria today. I'm
Okay.
meeting my housemate for the first time today, so
In about
I
30
probably have
minutes.
to.
So you're
Yeah,
the clock's ticking. So tell us, Ellery, about you're starting your first year next in just a few weeks. Yes.
right. Yeah,
Tell us for
exactly.
those who are on the call. I don't know if there are current applicants, but tell us a little bit about your kind of pre-PA journey.
So, yeah, thank you. My pre-PA journey, I guess it really started in high school. I was exposed to the PA profession from a very young age. I had the benefit to attend a health science focused charter high school, and I got to shadow clinicians once a week at local hospitals. And that was really like a formative moment for me. And during this time, I shadowed a PA in the emergency department and I watched him rapidly assess and diagnose and treat and prescribe medications for a wide range of conditions. And that accessibility and competence noticeably shortened the wait time for patients who might otherwise have had to wait hours to see a doctor. And so that impact on access and working collaboratively to get high quality care to people faster was pivotal in my decision to choose this route. Um, and then, so after high school, I attended UCSB. I graduated with a degree in psych and brain sciences. Throughout college, I volunteered. I got my ENT license. So I got some work experience. Um, and then after graduating, I moved down to San Diego just for a brief moment, and I worked as a CNA. And and I know during that time I was bothering Mr. Lawrence a lot for help and guidance throughout the process. So for all you gauchos, once you graduate, it's not over. You know, it's a life bond. You can continue to reach out to the health professions counseling. It's a huge help. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit. You said you have some general advice. You messaged me privately, and I know I
Mhm.
want to kind of get everything that I can in case your roommate shows up early and you got to
Mhm.
bounce. There may be some prospective or current applicants here. What do you think made you, Ellery, a competitive candidate this application cycle and got you the offer?
So a piece of advice that I'd give to pre-PA students that I think is unique would be to cultivate self-introspection. You know, PA school and clinical work are marathons, they're not sprints. So you really need to invest in routines that keep you grounded, like regular exercise, solid sleep, time management, dieting, journaling, reading, uh, emotional intelligence. You know, the better you understand yourself, and the better you're able to care for yourself, the better you'll be able for caring for others.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's outside the kind of not outside the classroom, but a lot of people think it's just about the book smarts, and what you're really talking about is kind of a holistic kind of approach to life. And I think that's something that you've embodied it from the very first time we met a number of years ago, Ellery. I kind of had that kind of read on you. And I know when you had a successful cycle, and I know when you talked about committing to ATSU Central Coast, I know you have big plans for yourself there. And Olivia, I think senses this already, but you've got a leader, Olivia, in this guy right here. And I mean, I'm really thrilled for him. I'm thrilled for the fact he's just going to be at the coast. Olivia, before I stop the recording, and students can ask questions, and we'll keep Ellery as long as he's available. Can you tell us? I did a thing with Gauchos in PA last summer. I'm actually going to post for those who haven't ever seen this. I'll post it in the chat. It's on our YouTube channel. But can you talk a little bit about the externship and the clinical, the year two, if you will? What does that look like for students at ATSU Central Coast? What is that? What is that kind of what
Yeah.
can students expect?
Yeah. So for our program, and like I said, like we are partnered with community health centers as well as fairly qualified health centers. So usually, they're working with patients who are uninsured, coming in also in like rural areas. We have clinical sites throughout the whole US. We do have sites here in Santa Maria and Lompoc. We're working on our one in Santa Barbara right now. Hopefully that all gets worked out in the next year. But yeah, we also have Fresno. We have the Bay Area. We also have, Missouri and Oklahoma, Florida, Miami, New York, right? Some very different areas. And like I said, like there's like rural medicine, some very underserved areas. And so students, you're going in your full days of clinic. You still have, homework afterward as well. So it's very full days. So it's definitely, I think, a very unique experience. Students that you could be sent anywhere. The clinical team does do their best to send you to one of your top five
Okay, so there is
choices.
some side trying to match students with preferences, right? Okay.
Yes,
And they'll spend the
yes.
entire clinical year there. There's not a rotational kind of aspect to the
It depends.
okay.
There are some sites where like our Fresno, you're there like the whole time. The San Maria, you're there the whole time. It depends on the site, especially since these community health centers, there's not really a surgical portion there. If there's no local hospital that's able to take it on, then you may have to go somewhere else for the surgical rotation. Chicago is a big hub
Got
for
it.
us for that. But they do their best to limit that. And sometimes we have had students where they want to travel, they want to go different places because that's the one year you can really do that before you start working,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way I've talked with students about it is it's like you can go and learn things in different communities that you can bring back to your community that you wouldn't know otherwise, right? And just may help you be a more well-rounded PA, right? And again, It's only 1 year.
So, so
Yeah.
last question for you from a practical standpoint. You mentioned your cohort is 90 strong, right?
Yes.
How many, can you talk a little bit about the just the kind of numbers with respect to your application cycle through CASPA? How many applicants are you reviewing? How many interviews are you extending? And then how many offers do you typically extend to get to that 90 student cohort?
Yeah, and every year has been different. Being a newer program, right, starting in 2021, the numbers have been vastly different, usually going up trend. Uh, and we're still in the current application cycle, so usually we receive around 2,000 applications, right? The last couple cycles, we've interviewed about 250 applicants. I think we're going to up it this year is our goal. I think we're hoping to interview around May 300, going from October to through March. So we'll see how that goes. Uh, but yeah, it's usually when it comes to that the amount of people we interview, we'll usually put a good amount of them on the wait list because as we're doing interviews, uh, we're you could interview in October, we could accept you or put you on the wait list, right? And then let's say we get through March and we haven't accepted the full cohort, we'll go off the wait list at that point. Because I guess
Got
you
it.
could say they're accepting the the most competitive along the way, uh, and such, but then they may come back to you at the end, depending on how the interview cycle went.
So have you started interviewing for this, the cohort that will succeed Ellery?
Not yet. I believe we're hoping to send out interview invites soon because I think our
Okay.
first interview day is going to be at the end of
So
October,
you haven't
just like
even
last
extended
year.
IIs yet.
Not yet, no.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're trying to start the next cohort first.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, one thing at a time. Good. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.